Weaning Tommy is a brilliant episode of the Rugrats. This is yet another one from the first season where I don't remember it. But of course, the nostalgia is still there in terms of the characters and the animation style. It's the first segment in the 10th episode of the first season of the Rugrats, and Tommy goes to the dentist. And I have to say, the scene in the dentist is terrifying. And Tommy's got his mouth clamped shut, and it's brilliantly animated. The whole thing's beautifully animated, but it definitely doesn't make me want to go to the dentist. I hate the dentist. And I kind of feel like, on the one hand, it wasn't the best idea to make it seem quite a scary experience because children watching this episode might suddenly decide they don't want to go to the dentist. But I feel like it represents feelings accurately as well, so I can't complain too much. But the dentist says that now that Tommy has a tooth, one tooth, it's time to wean him from his bottle. However, it's not so much weaning as just suddenly refusing to give him his bottle. Stu's not keen on the idea, but Didi is taking this dentist's word to heart and isn't actually weaning Tommy. She's actually just refusing to give him the bottle, which is not really how weaning works, but never mind. And Tommy is depressed and he's desperate for his bottle, and there's a really brilliantly written scene where he's begging Phil and Lil for even just a sip of their bottles. Now, Phil and Lil have like 8 teeth each, but they haven't been weaned off the bottle yet. But the scene where Tommy's begging for this bottle is obviously meant to kind of represent, somebody who's desperate for an alcoholic drink and they're willing to trade their worldly goods in order to get even a tiny bit. And from viewing it as an adult, it's quite funny, but at the same time, I imagine it is quite a difficult experience to be weaned off of a bottle because it's a whole world of change. I assume most people don't remember going through that transition, but it must be pretty difficult, and I feel like it probably accurately represents what it feels like. But again, weaning is more about gradually replacing, say, one of the bottles, not just removing it out of the baby's life completely. So it's not actually an accurate representation of weaning, but still, I thought it was very well done. There's a scene that's beautifully animated where Tommy is dreaming and he's in a kitchen, but he's huge, or the kitchen's tiny, because he hears Didi say that he's too big for a bottle. And I just thought that was done very well. Very well animated, very well written. Tommy was brilliant, some great bits of animation. Just the way he's clamped his mouth shut in the dentist's office just made me laugh so much. But I feel like adults going through this process, where their child is refusing to accept their sippy cup because they want the bottle. I feel like the adults in this probably have an accurate emotional response as well. Definitely a pretty decent episode. I don't care that I don't remember it specifically from my childhood. There was still that glorious nostalgia there. And despite it not quite accurately representing weaning, I thought it was a pretty good episode.